Well, I'm at a spot today that I haven't walked in at least 2 years. I wasn't here last year, but I think I was here the year before. I never really find a whole lot here. This is an old classmate of my dad's. Um, we walked this a couple of years. We've only found like 3 sheds here ever, so maybe like slightly less than 1 shed a year I find here. And I just camp on an old one here. That's a really nice little thick 40 acres, pretty wet, but the landowner here said that a lot of the deer kind of vacate this area in the winter, which would kind of make sense, but there's got to be some bucks around here, and this one fell from years ago. Like, I don't know if I'm going to find anything fresh in here, but this is one that we probably should have found years ago when we did find 1 or 2 fresh ones in here. So I'm just heading right up this way on this deer trail, and I glanced over, and it's like right in there. Pretty good spot, but I guess when it's that big, you can see it for even years after it fell in this canary grass. Pretty good size antler. Oh my God, really good. That's the other side. Oh my God. That's the other side of that mega giant 5-point. I didn't think it was that big. I just took a quick I walked over here and took a quick glance to make sure it was a shed, and then pulled out my camera. That is the other side of the giant 5 I found in here, like probably maybe 100 to 200 yards that way. Oh my God, I gotta get some pictures. I've been waiting all year to find an old shed like this, buried in the grass. It took me all the way till April. Every year it's cool to find a couple like that buried in the grass. Alright, I'm right next to it, and you can still barely see it. This shed dropped probably 3 or 4 years ago. I found the other side. It sat out for 1 year, and that was already 2, maybe 3 years ago. So this dropped probably 4 years ago. You can see it's starting to get some cracking. The tines are starting to crack. Just a couple little chews. Hardly any squirrels down here. Wow, let's pick it up. Oh my God, look at the size of this thing. Oh, that is by far one of the biggest 10-point set I've ever found now. And that's gonna be close to the biggest antler all year. So for whatever reason, this buck and one other younger buck, kind of similar to him, wintered in this area a number of years ago. And since then, the landowner here said it's in the winter time that a lot of the deer kind of just vacate as soon as we get a measurable snowfall. And then he said they just started showing back up. So my chances of finding anything fresh in here are pretty slim, but wow, that is unbelievable. I think the other side, it's literally identical to this. Maybe the other side, this G4 is a little bigger, but that one scores right around 74 as a clean 5. So that's literally almost 160-inch 10-point. That's crazy. Yeah, was not expecting that at all. I looked hard for this other side. And then, like I said, I didn't even come here last year because it just hasn't been producing the last couple times I've walked it, but I guess you never know what you're gonna find. Crazy. And here's a size comparison. I'll throw it on the backpack here. It ain't gonna fit, but there's a good size comparison. Pretty crazy. All right, so me and Jacob are out here scouting a new spot to both of us.
Yeah.
First time actually meeting Jacob and scouting out here, and we weren't really expecting to find many sheds, or anything really. We're just out here checking if there's any big bucks, and we get up to this little aspen cluster, in Jacob's spots when it's kind of shining through the sunlight. I'll zoom in on it.
So I'm not nearly as good of a shed hunter as you, and I was expecting you to find 6 and me to just learn how to actually do it.
No, I ain't.
But this one was as nice as it could be to us, really.
That's actually really surprising because, I mean, we haven't really been seeing a whole lot of great sign. I mean, some sign.
Right. We're kind of off of a human trail, too.
It is a fresh one, though. Look at that. Probably like, look at that. There's probably his bed right there, right on this higher ground, because all that marsh was frozen over. Yep.
Cool. Nice. Super watered out already because of the rain. A little bit of hair on the base. That's cute. In 8 years, he'll be a booner. That's cool.
Still a little bit of hair right there.
Yeah.
Clearly right in the bed. I'd say literally, probably almost 40% of the sheds I find are like right in a deer bed. Yeah. So if you're not walking bedding areas, you're wasting time.
Right, right. So man, I did not expect one. Well, I think if a deer would be bedded here, it would be something like this. But yeah, I mean, you can tell these poplars are typically rubbed up pretty.
Yeah, like in 3/4 of a mile walk back here, we've seen probably only half a mile. We've seen only a handful of rubs off of smaller bucks. So,
yeah. Which is fine. We're kind of like, we have a destination in mind. But instead of walking on the trail to get back here, we're gonna walk through as much as we can and learn about the deer as we go, and kind of like confirmed with us that we've ruled out some of those like early close to the access spots as places people are getting, but this is a reward for kind of not walking on the trail, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see if we can pick up anything else. We'll probably be out here a couple hours, so yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, we're out here in this burn section. We're just all 3 of us walking together now. We're not even paying attention. Jacob spots another one.
Yeah. Just another giant. I think it's probably. What do you think is from this year?
Oh yeah, that's definitely fresh.
Yeah.
Surprised that was laying there, because I mean.
I'm just surprised I saw it.
Yeah.
10 feet off of a road. Right. You can tell it's part of that burn though. It's kind of freaky.
Well, at least we're not going home with nothing.
Right. Right.
Man, this is crazy. I hardly ever find sheds out here, but this is one of the spots I hunt, and the deer always seem to leave in the winter out here. And I was just coming out here because I was so busy shed hunting other areas, you know, city parks, private land areas that I can't even hunt. I haven't even had a ton of time to get out here and really take a closer look at all this before it greens up. And I didn't really expect to find much, but I came up on a little decent one here. I've hardly ever found any sheds out here on this piece. So just a ton of giant ragweed and just annual weeds. Not a whole lot of browse out here. Just coming up like this, and I glance over right there. Looks like a nice young 2 or 3 year old. Everything's horse nettles popping, stinging nettles, all this stuff starting to really green up. A couple weeks it'll be really green. Definitely right in the bed. You can see just a little bit crushed down right here. There's even some deer hair. But it's just like literally 6 inches higher in elevation than right there, and just a little bit of grass here by these trees. Probably these big trees just sucking up a little bit of extra moisture right here. It's, you know, the rest of this is, oh, there's a rub right here. But awesome. Did not expect to find that out here, or anything out here. I was just, you know, checking up on some more of these areas. This is kind of like an early season spot, I think, and rut obviously, but awesome. Yeah, probably that could be just a really nice 2-year-old. Doesn't really have enough mass to be a 3-year-old, I think. I don't know. Huh. Well, my shed season's really wrapping up fast here. I'm kind of shedded out at this point. I've walked pretty much all my good spots, so I'd be just going for numbers now. If I wanted to keep grinding the next couple weeks here, we'll see. I'll be out a few times here and there, but most of the, pretty much 90 to 95% done with the season, so this might be one of the last. Awesome.